Okay. Well, hey, welcome back to Wednesday's live. Let me know, guys, if you can hear me. Oh, it does pop like I'm speaking. Welcome back to Wednesday's live. Sorry I didn't make the event till basically 15 minutes ago. I totally forgot. It's not that easy to make these events on YouTube. Hi, Camel Green. I've been packing all day. I'm leaving to Brighton tomorrow. I just packed all my video gear except for the microphone I'm using right now. Hi, Hal. Hi, Joey. And nothing. I'm basically here prepping everything, leaving tomorrow to Brighton to do the Intrepid video. I'm about to start packing tripods. Have a bit of a cold, so sorry if I sound a little nasal. Winter is always not very nice. And nothing, everything's been fine. No big questions from anyone. I do have the Intrepid questions that I've been asking around, plus a bunch of my own. I'll be putting them down on proper paper to ask Max on Friday for the Q&A video. And yeah, no worries, Camo Green, you weren't able to watch. And Pedro, hi, Max, hello. I've been this weekend on a holiday with a family, took the RZ, and I took this, which I received the other day in the mail, which is the Canon EF Black Beauty camera. There don't see a lot of these. Basically, I don't know why, but one of the reasons must be that it's called Canon EF, and it matches the EF mount on the modern Canon autofocus. So this is called the Black Beauty. It's an FD mount, which is now, I would say, I guess, obsolete in Canon terms, but works great for these older bodies, the F1 and such. And I use all these lenses for video, so I decided to get a body so I can shoot these pretty nice lenses on something that's film. So yeah, got this Canon EF. It's really weird to shoot SLR on 35. I haven't shot SLR on 35 probably for like 8 years or 9. So very strange. I'm not used to, you know, looking at the blurry screen when you're focusing. So yeah, and interesting to see how it works and how it looks when I develop. I shot like 4 rolls this weekend with it, so I'm curious. Plus 36 frames seem to go faster than I thought. Camo Green says, how many rolls of film have you guys shot this year? He says he's around 40, way down from last year. I've had a very interesting year too. I've shot probably, I actually can't even say. What I haven't done this year is probably develop like more than like a few rolls. Between the YouTube, the studio, and everything, I have so much film. I gotta make a video of how much film I have ready to develop. But I am extremely excited to finish the Darkroom finally. It all. I made film dryer, which is basically a wardrobe with a heater on the bottom. And my idea is to develop as fast as I can, because one thing is you enjoy developing a few rolls every now and then. Another thing is having like 300 rolls to develop. And I don't have 300, but I have like, I don't know, 100 or something like that. So yeah, I'm really interested in trying to get that done and, you know, finishing that film and being able to see my pictures for the last 1.5 years or so. And yeah, basically that. A bunch of 4x5, 2, 8x10 and such. House says over 100 this year, just black and white, and not including color rolls, which I don't want to develop at home because the smell is so bad. Well, that's a lot of film, Hao, too. Hao has some nice 4x5 shots, I have to say. He likes architecture, and that's one of my favorites. So I hope to see more of Hao's work, and I hope to start doing more of my own work. I've been getting well, basically I received a 90 XL. Well, I'm getting it. It's coming in the mail from a friend who's going to loan it to me. And that's basically the architecture lens that everyone wants to use. And I hope to make some videos on how it works and the image circle and stuff like that, which I think is very nice. It will cover 4x5 and 5x7. And I'll test it out and see how far we can go in movements with that lens, because the circle is publicly known, but sometimes you got to test it out to see. Joseph says, not many. I've been busy and haven't gone anywhere really. I bought a 400-foot roll of 500T, so I hope to shoot a lot of that this year. Joey, I got a question. I've been offered that 400-foot roll of 500T here, but I don't know the real actual market price. Do you know what price it is? Did you buy expired or did you buy new film? He says he's shot around 20 to 30 rolls. I've shot, I think, more 120 this year than 35, but depends on the year, it changes. Josh says, hey Nico, what model are you basing your darkroom on money-wise? There are two options I have available. I'd like to involve myself in, but I think one is cost prohibitive and the other not sustainable. I don't know what you mean by money-wise in my darkroom. Tell me what you mean by that, Joff. Pedro says, I was trying to create the account of Fotocarrete, but I can't, the address to Portugal. Pedro, I think they don't do Portugal on the website, but he does through his WhatsApp. So maybe you want to send him a message. If not, let me know and I'll talk to him. House says 90 is perfect for 4x5. I think wide enough for both exterior and interior. Yeah, I have I've had the 90 from Nikon, the Nikkor 94.5, and I loved it, but I got rid of it in one of those moments I thought I was going to go big only. And I basically got the XL as a tester. And now I did keep the 72 XL, so I love that thing. Joey says new is like $300 US, cold store from eBay. Yeah, that's how much they kind of asked, so that's not bad. Okay. Hi, Spain. Are people paying membership or per use? We have one here that has a yearly membership, but it's expensive. Okay, so my darkroom is in the studio, and basically the studio is arranged the next way, the following way, sorry. There's 4 people in it. There's 2 who are major partners, which is me and another guy, and there's 2 that are minor partners. So the 2 minor use the darkroom only, and they pay a monthly fee, and it includes everything. It includes internet, it includes light, water, using the darkroom, not chemicals or paper, that's on their side, but they can use any machines, the Jobos, the enlargers, the print flat, you know what I mean, the dry press, all of that whenever they want. And then the idea is to have maybe some minor users that can use or rent per day or per job. Price-wise, I mean, it could be cheaper, but they do have all their gear there, and everything's, you know, taken care of, like supplied by me and the other partner. And I use it for workshops and stuff, so I get to say, like, in a calendar what days I'll use it and stuff, for YouTube videos or anything like that. So it's kind of like that. Price-wise, I don't know. If you want, I can tell you, but it's, I think, not too bad to be a monthly thing. But you definitely, it's not cheap. I mean, I see darkroom rents that are like $40 a month, which I think is extremely cheap. For very fully equipped darkrooms. Joseph says, I got Vision 2, so it was cheaper, 180 shipped, but it was a bit older and it was kind of a gamble condition-wise. I should have paid more, to be honest, but it has a bit of base fog. TV Photo says, how do you store your exposed rolls before developing them, cold or ambient? TV Photo, I've always kept it ambient, never seen a problem. I'm sure I've developed roles that have been in my, like, how do you say, cabinet or anything like that for years and haven't found any problems. So I can say I don't think it's a big issue, but I'm sure it's best in cold. But I just always think about the cold and the condensation, and if it gets like frost or whatever, nah. I've had film get wet before in the fridge and in the freezer, and I don't like that. Give me a sec. Sorry, guys. I just have this runny nose. Antonio says, hi, Nico. What do you think is the best developer to push HP5 to 3200? What's the best? I mean, depends on what. Are you looking for grain? Are you looking for less grain? Are you looking to get more contrast, less contrast? I mean, the best. I love how people say the best, and the best depends so much on who the user is. But I use HC 110 to 1600, and I like how it looks, but it depends on your taste. I like grain. I like noticing the push, contrast and smooth grain. I say HC 110, and instead of maybe B, dissolve it more. Instead of B as maybe it's 132, try the 163 combination and see how it looks. But contrast and smooth grain, I don't know. You can try it out. Maybe a Rodinal will give you a bit more grain, or at least look like it's grainier. But I don't know. I can't tell you. I've never pushed actually HP5 to 3200, only 1600. Jacob says, hi everyone. Joseph, do you have experience in developing more than one film in DDX? Never tried DDX, so that was Joseph to answer. Ilford HC also was remarkable at 1600 HP5, cleared than other 400 speed films at box. Yeah, Matt Day was doing some tests at 6400, and I think he develops on Ilford HC, so I think he's going to post a video soon if he hasn't already about that. So maybe Ilford HC and, giving it a bit more time and not so much agitation to not get so much grain. You mean using the liquid more than once? I have used it on Tri-X and it works well too. If I'm pushing, I use DDX box speed Rodinal. Pern, hi, just joined in. Don't know whether you've spoken about the ElbaFlex 35 yet. If not, what's your opinion about the Kickstarter? So I just uploaded the news today because yesterday I just couldn't do it. It's like a 3 weeks news in 1 week, in one video, so it's a little longer. On the news, I usually don't give my opinion on the, what I'm giving the news about. What's my opinion or my take about the ElbaFlex? I have to say I like seeing new things. I like that they're doing new cameras. It's amazing that in a few weeks we've gotten like 2 SLR cameras. We've got this year also Bellamy with a point and shoot work he's doing. But the ElbaFlex, after seeing the Kickstarter, the video is very I find both videos, the Reflex and the ElbaFlex, to be very, like, how do you say it, superficial. Like, they don't really talk details. You don't really get to see up close like what it's going to be like or how they solve their different things. Like, I want to see a Kickstarter for a camera, and I want to look at it, and I want it to look like a review, like a good review, so I can see all the little corners. I know they don't have a working, they don't have the final product. It's a working model, that the prototype. But I feel they just kind of go superficial. And after seeing the ElbaFlex and seeing the camera and the price, which was 24 hours at like $399 or $499, I can't remember. And then I saw that it's based on a Kiev 19. Yeah, the Kiev 19M. It kind of brought me down. It's kind of like, okay, they say they use the same tools. If you go to the comment section on the Kickstarter, they talk about it, and they say they use the same tools, but there's no light meter. And it makes me think if it's just, Ukrainian Kiev 19M, and it really looks like it. And I hope that there's major improvements, but that makes it enough of a reason for me to doubt the product, and not doubt it in the sense that it's not going to be good or it's not going to be made, but I rather wait to see if it's being made or it's going to get made and then buy it, than put money on the Kickstarter, which, as you know, Kickstarter has the risk they don't have to deliver, and maybe not getting anything, or getting really a Kiev 19M for $500 when they're worth 20, $30 or whatever the price is. I'm not up to date with that. So yeah, I don't know. And then there's no meter, which I understand. Meters might be more expensive to make, but honestly, Sekonic makes a light meter today. You can buy it today. It uses no batteries. It has like a silicone diode or something like that that just reacts to the light. Why can't we make or implement that on a reflex camera and have a light meter on there? At least, you know, give you kind of like an idea of what you want. You meter reading, so I can shoot faster, or I can get a glimpse and not take a light meter. And I know you can learn your light and you can use it. I do it on my Leica M2. And but yeah, it's, I don't know, it's kind of strange. I wonder what's going to happen. Okay, sorry, I think it went off. Joseph says, I feel like the Reflex got the rights to the Topcon design. It just looks like a Topcon RE Super, just electronically controlled with new features. They do look based, and you have to understand that, I mean, so many cameras were made in the film era that it's very hard to innovate and implement things that are going to look totally different. Now, if you go with a modern curved design of like the latest Canon, you know, the EOS 1V and the 1N, people wouldn't like it because it would look too modern. If you make them look like the, you know, they're going to the retro look, which is what people like, and then new functions. And the Reflex really did the new functions with the changing the mounts, which is pretty cool, and the interchangeable backs. I honestly am not a big fan of the interchangeable backs. I mean, I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think medium format does that well enough to have to do it on 35, but you never know. Maybe people want to do that. And I still haven't seen the dark slide, if it has a dark slide. Haven't read the whole Kickstarter because I never have the patience for it. But I wonder if there's a dark slide, because how are you going to change your film if there's no dark slide? You're going to lose that frame and probably the ones close to it. So we'll see. Pedro says, does anyone want to do a TLR with change back like a Yashica blad? There's not, let me think. No, there's interchangeable lenses, but not backs. I don't know. We'll see. Someone might make it. Joseph says, I don't mind. I like the Topcon design. It says the same, it's got the same boxy look, same prism, front shutter, etc. They say it has a dark side. Okay, so I haven't read that part. That's basically me not reading. Sorry, guys. Thanks for letting me know, Joseph. Analog Adventure says, what people's favorite focusing screen? I have a matte one in one camera that I don't like. And I have a split focus on another camera that I do like, probably 30, 40% better focusing results. I'm a huge fan of the split. Let me see what this Canon has. Okay. So this Canon camera has a split circle and then micro prisms around it. And I think that's probably close to my favorite focusing screen. So yeah, basically that's my favorite. So yeah. And just the split screen is so easy to focus. Yeah, you need a line, but it's so easy to find a line somewhere. And then the micro prisms are there to help you just in case there's no line. But yeah, it's probably my favorite focusing screen. TV Photo says Elba Flex could probably just make it like the Zenit Model E to integrate a meter, maybe. I'm not up to date to what the Zenit Model E integrates the meter. But yeah, they could put it as a stretch goal, maybe reach their goal and light meter for the next goal. That would be nice to see. Pond Perm says, I love the split. I am thriving to buy a split ground screen for my Nikon F3. If it's an SLR, it's got to have the split. It's so hard to tell on a plain ground glass. It is. I've had a Hasselblad one that wasn't that bad. But yeah, I like the split. A horizontal split. That's another question. And this is something I fight with a friend, a good friend of mine. He uses the split screen, but he never does it horizontal. He always has it vertical. And I mean this in 6x6 cameras where you can flip the screen 90 degrees. So in his Mamiya C330 or 220, he uses his screen flipped 90 degrees. 90 degrees. So he uses a vertical, and he insists that's much better, and I just can't see it. So I wonder if you guys have ever tried, because when I look at this Canon, it's vertical here and it's horizontal there, so it can't be split the other way. You can't change it, so you're stuck with that. But I don't know. I don't seem to like vertical split. Do you need a battery for that EF camera? Yes, actually, I do need a battery. And the thing is, it came with batteries, and I never checked exactly the kind. But this camera has the option, that's too much of a big coin, sorry. It has the option to lower the voltage from a 1.5 to 1.35, so you can use the modern batteries for this old body. Oh, that's too big too. I need a small coin. Ponper says, I prefer 45 degrees split like the Mamiya ones. Yeah, 45 degrees is split is actually probably the best because it has a bit of both. Joseph says, I mean, it would be like a rangefinder, I guess, since you're bringing it into focus horizontally. Seems odd though. Hey, Lathan, going out, just got out of the darkroom. I'm glad to hear that you're always in the darkroom, Lathan. It's not something people are in all the time. But yeah, let me check what batteries this camera has. They might be the original ones, which would be pretty impressive that they're still around. These are PX625A, and it uses 2. So yeah, these are those little button ones that look like they're squished. And it uses 2 of these. It doesn't say the amount of voltage, but I'm guessing it's 1.5, as the old ones were the Mercury ones. But I think they're accurate. I think this is the Canon that will take care, how do you say it, of lowering the voltage so your meter is accurate. If not, you have to buy and do some tricks to get it. I think it's the Canon FTB, and some others won't work like this one. Layton says, if it's light, I am shooting. When it's dark, I am printing at the moment. Yeah, that's how I used to do it. Hope to do it again. But yeah, 2 little batteries. You do have to do is turn it off. So when you turn it on, it unlocks the advance, and when you turn it off, it locks back in. You have to push it in. So yeah, that way it turns off. Then it has a button here for battery, but it doesn't work. But the bottom one does. There's a bottom one that does. So you see the blinking light there. So yeah, so far so good. I'm enjoying the camera. Yeah, Pedro, the Mercury was 1.3, but Mercury is not longer permitted as it's very contaminating. Spain says, Analog Adventure, what is your opinion on the third-party aftermarket accessories for older cameras? I'm thinking of getting a wooden grip for my Pentacon 6. It's on eBay for $40 US and mounts on the tripod socket. My opinion on third-party accessories, I think if they improve the usability of the camera or improve the grip or any of those features, I'm very happy to use it. But there's so many accessories nowadays for your cameras. People are dressing their cameras like they're dressing their, little dude, poodle. They have, button, how do you say, soft buttons. They have the straps, they have the grips, they have the hot shoe covers. They have so many things. And don't get me wrong, they're useful. I've got a care package from the More Gooder, and he has some softies and a hot shoe cover, and they're actually made of recycled skateboards, which I was a big time skateboarder back in the day. So I like that. It's called, instead of recycling, it's upcycling, I think. But the grippy things, I'm not a big fan of them just because I don't think I need them. But if it helps you shoot, I highly recommend you get it. I mean, that's the kind of thing that it's supposed to do. The Pentax, like the right side grip, which is what people are using, I just use the normal wooden grip on the Pentax. I don't like that right side grip. I find it weird, but I know a lot of people like it. Layton says, with those type of cameras, just make sure the mirror is not squeaking, but they are a great camera. And some great FD glass out there for not much money. Apart from the 85 1.2, cannot find a cheap one of those. Yeah, I was packing today for the trip. Upcycling, a step up from using a skateboard. I agree. No, upcycling is supposedly, instead of recycling something and making it another life of the same, is making something. I think I looked it up. I might be wrong. It's making a new use of something that's obsolete as an old object. So a skateboard turned into softy, or a glass bottle turned into, I don't know, a jar for your flowers. Like, it's using it without recycling it, not having to make it again what it was meant to use. Layton, what I was saying is I was packing my FD glass for the video, and I realized I have a 17, a 24, a 35, a 50, another 50, and 100, and then I have a zoom lens somewhere here, and they're cheap. That's why I have so many. I actually bought this 50 with a camera on it for like $50, and I was like, you know what, I can get a camera out of it too. So yeah, it's cheap gear, cheap cameras, and great cameras. I do want to one day test properly the 85 1.2 and the 50 1.2. But I'm not a big wide open shooter, so I would probably never shoot at 1.2. And then for video, I usually need more focus than less focus. So I don't know. I don't see myself spending that money on a lens. Joseph says, do you think the GS645S is worth it over 35? My dream camera is Mamiya 7, but that's way out of my price range. I would have to sell my M2 or TX1, which I don't want to do. Okay, Joseph, or Joey, I mean, we know each other. We met in San Francisco, just in case anyone's wondering, in a Film and Beer, which I'm making one in Brighton. So this Saturday, if someone wants to have a beer in Brighton, check www.filmandbeer.com/meetings. So 645, let's see. Every time I buy a 645, and I've had 2 or 3, I always think, I can work with this, like it's just pretty much almost like a 6x7 format. It's much bigger than 35. But every time I buy it, I use it for 2-3 rolls, and then I don't use it again, and I go back to my 6x7. Either it's 6x7 SLR or rangefinder. So, is it worth it over 35? That's hard to say. I mean, depends on what you want to shoot. I rather use my Leica M2 and shoot more film than shoot 645, even though I know it's bigger and it's great and all that. And I'd rather just keep the money and save it for 6x7. So yeah. Layton says also, congratulations on being funded for your trip. Shooting street in Edinburgh, an extra stop or so is useful. Yeah, I don't think I'll shoot. I'm not taking any 35 or 120 camera. I've decided to do these trips for the photo stories, this is the first of the kind. I want to try to make it as close to what the company produces as possible. So I'm gonna only take 4x5 and 8x10. I hope to get a loaner of a 4x5, and if they have a demo one or a factory spec 8x10, I hope to shoot there. I'm taking my own lenses just in case, and I'm taking my own film and film holders. But my idea is to cover the Intrepid on Intrepid cameras. I think that would be a pretty cool little twist to it. So no 35. A friend is coming over with me as help, and he's bringing actually a GS 645 or something like that. Joseph. Antonio Salazar, what is the difference from TX1 to X-Pan? They're basically the same camera, but as Joseph says, who has the TX1, naked titanium finish on the TX1, no paint to chip, and also it has, I think, a wooden little grip, which is actually very pretty. It's like titanium and wood, which is but they've gone up in price a lot, the TX1s, and the TX2s are crazy right now. So yeah, and I was thinking that the next trip I will do, if, for example, if I was going to go see Ilford, I would only shoot Ilford film during the process, so, or print on Ilford film, paper, sorry. And if I go see Ferrania, I'll shoot Ferrania P30 film and, you know, kind of like make it a little bit so the product I'm covering will also be used as part of the rewards for Kickstarter. And yeah, I'm super excited, Layton. I had 34 people fund me and support me. I mean, funding is, I guess, not accurate. Supporting, or, you know, they're getting their rewards back from the Kickstarter. But yeah, I'm extremely excited. I'm very nervous too, because this could be the first and the last of this series, or it could be the first of many to come. And it's all going to depend on how the video comes out. It all depends on how the rewards come out. So I'm very nervous in that sense. I probably overpacked. I think I have like 25 kilos of camera gear to do videos and like 6 microphones just in case one fails. I bought batteries to like last me like 2 weeks of shooting in the desert. But apart from that, I'm extremely excited. I'm staying at an Airbnb. Hopefully I'll be able to keep you guys updated, maybe on Instagram or YouTube, or maybe make a live video if I'm okay with that. Depends on the energy and the level of stress I have. I'm very excited. And if you guys have any questions for Intrepid, let me know. Sorry guys, I have this cold. So any other questions or things you want to ask me, let me know, guys. You managed to get Layton says, managed to get a roll of P30 whilst I was in Italy. Found a camera shop in Milan that had 30 rolls. €11 a roll though. That's how much I paid, around 11 euros from the store opening. Ignacio says, hi Nico, which book for learning large format will you recommend? Or have you learned all by doing, taking pictures? Ignacio's Spanish, he's a friend living in Germany. There's one Spanish photographer that has a book. Speaking in English doesn't come, the name doesn't come out, but it's like the book to get. I'll remember and say it at some point. It's called La Cámara de Gran Formato or something like that. Mellado no, Laguillo. Sí, Manolo. Formato. Yeah. El gran formato, la cámara descentrable. Manolo Laguillo. No, that's not it. See, this is the one I'm talking about. Also, Ansel Adams, The Camera, is a great book for large format. Yeah, Manolo Laguillo, El Gran Formato. This is the one I recommend, Nacho. There you go. How says, how do you travel with your heavy cameras? The carry-on luggage weight is 7 kilos. Okay, so the thing is, my Pelican case that I use for traveling already weighs 6 kilos. So what I usually do is I pack it with cameras. I try to keep the chargers, and this is talking digital because this is the whole videoing is digital, and I have to say I'm sorry, but it sucks. All these chargers and all this stuff. So all the chargers I put in my carry-on, on my checked luggage, and then the cameras I put in the Pelican. And what happens is when they look at the weight, they usually kind of complain about it. But what I've done so far is I always open the backpack or the camera case or whatever, and I always say, like, sorry, but this is extremely delicate gear. I'm not going to put this in the checked luggage. And this is thinking on a Pelican case, which can probably withstand, like an earthquake or a bomb or something like that. And the last time it was in Miami, and I was traveling, and my suitcase or carry-on weighed 16 or 17 kilos. And the lady told me, like, oh, sir, you can't take that on the airplane. And I said, look, like, I opened it and I said, look what's inside. If you think I should check this, let me know. And she kind of looked at it and was like, okay, I can see. And you say it's your work. Always say it's your work. Even if it's not your work, just say it's your work because it's serious. And every time they just go like, okay, don't worry, just keep on. Tomorrow I'm going to put that to the test because I'm flying the only airline that flies to the airport I wanted to go. And it's one of those budget airlines, and those people don't mess around with extra luggage. So I'm hoping that they'll kind of let me pass. I'll just look like it's super lightweight. The bag fits exactly in the overhead compartment thingy. And it just in case my friend is carrying an extra carry-on that's almost empty. So maybe if they say something, we'll flip things, or I'll put the stuff on my jacket. I don't know. I honestly never had a problem. What I have done is I've checked cameras, like the extremely big cameras, like 8x10s and 11x14s on Pelican cases, paid the extra weight. I locked them with the TSA locks, which to me feels like it's like a kid's lock because they're so flimsy and probably easy to open. But it gives me an extra peace of mind. And I just pay for it and I ship it. So it comes with me under the airplane. But I honestly, it's one of the biggest problems with traveling and photography is the gear and the limitations. I wish you could pay. Like, I would actually pay. Like, if they told me, okay, overhead is free, but if you pay a 50 euro or dollar upgrade, you can put up to 20 kilos in your overhead. So I'd happily pay it because honestly, there's a lot of money in that suitcase to be checking it and missing it. So if they tell me I have to check it, I might, don't know. I don't know what I'll do, but I probably will get first very angry, and second, I'll see how I figure it out. That's how I fly. So far, it's worked. And if it ever doesn't work, I've only had to give it to them one time, but it was at the door of the airplane, and I saw them put it in the airplane. So I felt a little better. But it was because it actually didn't fit under the seat. So they were like, you can't put this here. I do try to take the least possible. And I'm looking into seeing if I can do what I'm saying, paying for a second carry-on or getting like a premium card or something that they'll let me have 2 carry-ons. But it's a big deal. Hao says, if I can pay 2, that would be great. If you're going to use Easy or Ryan, they're tricky with the bags. No, I'm traveling with Vueling, which is Iberia. And I'm hoping, another thing is where I live, the airport's super small and they're pretty nice. Make sure you get into the priority boarding line and explain it's expensive. Yeah, that's what I usually do. I'm usually very I say, extremely nice to them, so I don't feel like I'm being cocky or anything like that. I feel like people that go at the airport and are all cocky about, you know, stuff don't get the nicest response, to say it mildly. But yeah, and then my check bags will have tripods and stuff like that because I'm taking everything just in case, and we'll see how much gets used or not. I'm very curious. I'm sure this trip I'll overpack, and the next trip I'll pack better. But yeah, and then you never know what you're gonna find. So you take a wide angle lens, and then you want to take maybe a longer lens, and so much stuff. I wish it was easier. I need like an assistant to come with me and pack his suitcase too. But I can't do that right now. But maybe one day. Any other questions you guys have? Apart from the fact that I'm traveling with, let me see if I can get it. Traveling with these two film holders, 8x10. So this will make it extra fun because these don't fit in my Pelican case. And I'm gonna see how I can take them. So I might just make like a little folder and look like it's a laptop or something like it. Gotta load them today. So I'll load them tonight and take them tomorrow. So I can shoot 8x10, hopefully. Also taking a 240 for the 8x10 if I get to shoot. Which, this is a very inexpensive lens I got. And it's not one I mind a lot to see if something would happen or not. Pero bueno, you never know. Pedro says, send me the ticket, and I go, I would send tickets. I mean, if it comes to a point that I can have someone come and help me, and depending on the size of the project, I might get someone to come. I'm telling you, this one, a friend just joined because he wanted to. He paid for his own ticket and paid for all his own stuff. And he's going to be coming. So you'll see him in the video probably helping me out. He'll be my audio guy, and he'll check things for me and help me out. But the next one, I don't know if I'll have help again or not. So we'll see. But I wish I could take someone with me and help me out. Plus, I think it's probably an awesome experience to go see these things. I would love it. Oh, another thing that I haven't done a video of because I've been so busy is the YouTube channel turned 2 years yesterday, if I'm not wrong. And it's not 2 years since I started, but 2 years since I uploaded my first video. And I want to make a whole video about it. I might make it next week if I can. But I'm extremely happy of how this YouTube channel is going. And I love the community. I love the support. I know that I don't have the most subscribers or viewers or anything like that, but honestly, I called this YouTube channel Nico's Photography Show because it was what I wanted to see and what I wanted to do. And I have to say I couldn't be happier with the outcome and how it's working. So thanks guys for being there, supporting me, you know, watching the videos and commenting and support, like recommending what to do and stuff like that. I really, really, really enjoy that. And I hope it keeps on, you know, growing as a community and, you know, relationships. I'm glad to say that I've met some of you guys and personally in different trips, and I hope to keep on meeting more. Okay, let's see. Azrael asked me something. Sorry, my head's going everywhere. I'm just this cold. Have you experienced demonetization of any of your videos? Azrael, I watched your video about the demonetization. I've actually have not seen it of any of my videos. Actually, wait, funny enough, one of my videos did get it. I think I claimed just because I saw it. I don't even look at it usually. And they monetized it. And then like 2 days later, they demonetized it again. And I claimed again. And then a day later, it was monetized again. I don't know what's going on. I don't say any rude words. I try to keep things mild because I don't think I need to go anything extreme. But so far, no problems. Pedro says, make some behind the scenes. I will be making behind the scenes. I've been recording today at the studio while I was packing and grabbing gear, and I will do. Lathan says, it's working well. I like the news features a lot. Thanks, Lathan. The news is probably the most time-consuming video I make, and making it every week is even more time-consuming, and that's why some weeks I just can't do it. And not that I do always do the research every week, and I do it on Sundays. Sunday afternoon, I spend like a few hours researching online what's happened. I usually do screenshots on my phone of what's happening. But yeah, the news is one of my favorite ones and also one of my least favorite ones because of the amount of work. Analog says, Azrael, I had one of my videos going from demonetized to monetized because the composer of the music had the option to force monetizing or something. Okay, that's interesting. What camera was the one you showed in your story on Instagram? Let me see my story because those were old pictures from a film and beer. Let me see. Let me see where my story is. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to see what my story had. First camera on my story where I say I'm going to Brighton is Plowbell Machina. Second is Leica CLE, or Minolta CLE, sorry, with a 40. The third is actually Black Beauty with an 85 1.2, and that was it for my story. My last 6 videos now, I would keep an eye out. Analog, weird that should be a copyright claim. Yeah, that's a thing. This is my recommendation as a YouTuber to other fellow YouTubers like Azrael. Don't use analog, maybe not as the word spoken, but as the word written. I never tag anything with that word. And this was said to me, and I believe it because I don't know any more about it, from a friend that works on CEOs and all these, tags and, branding and stuff, that any word containing those first 4 letters that you wrote will be banned. So if I have a friend that has his last name have that word in his last name, and he's a politician in Madrid, pretty big, and because of him having that name, you Google him and the news that came out, and Google won't show it because it has that word in it. So I don't tag anything with that. I only write film photography, I write traditional photography, I write medium format, I write large format as tags, but never that, because I've heard that Google, Apple, Instagram, Facebook will probably not look into your content because they don't have the time. They'll just bot it like with a little robot or whatever and tag you as unsafe. And that's probably what happens. So try to keep it out of the words. Svein says, I know what happened. The composer, instead of claiming copyright and taking the video down, he forced monetizing the video, even though I bought the song from his website. But I don't bother. Azrael says, that is crazy enough to make sense. Yeah, don't ever use that. It's just like how it is. And Joseph says, YouTube is so ridiculous. If you are coming to have a crazy rules, at least enforce them fairly. They're so inconsistent. TB Photo says, haven't had any monetizing issues, but I do get copyright claims on royalty-free music. I've kind of stopped using music. I just find it so hard to use any kind of music and add it on your video. I've used before YouTube's library, which should be free to use because it's YouTube, and they shouldn't tag or claim their own, content as copyright because you got it from them. But yeah, Layton says, if music is being a problem, have you looked at Epidemic Sound? That is what I used. I need to get back to making videos. I'm telling you, I've stopped with the music. I just don't, and it's sad because music makes everything pretty much better. And Azrael, you have some of the best music on YouTube. I'm a big fan of your music taste for videos. He says, I got a claim on a song I have licensed last week, fixed pretty quick. Epidemic is what I use. We need to share sources of your music, Azrael, because I would love to use that music you have, at least on a few videos. The Barbas says, what is the best Mamiya RB67? 180 4.5 or 250 4.5? I don't know if I could say one is better than the other. I know the 180 is probably one of the favorite lenses for portraits for most people. The 250, you can't handhold it, so you might have to, you know, shoot on a tripod, pretty much for sure. Also, the depth of field on a 4.5 lens on a 250 focal length will be less than the 180 at the same aperture. So depends on what you're looking for. But I've had the 180 for the RZ, which is basically the same camera, and it worked great. The 250 I don't have. I do have a friend that has the 210, but it's the apochromatic one. And he swears that it's the best lens he's ever used. So I don't know. You can decide from there. I would go with the 180. I think they're super cheap, and they're really good. And if you like it, maybe test the 250. TB Photo says, I used to use audio blocks. Azrael said, thanks, Epidemic Sound. I will, look, I'm going to take a screenshot of that so I don't forget. There we go. Leighton says, just loaded up your channel to check out. I was watching some of your videos today, Azrael. The what was it? 30 days of night, and you trying to go for as long as you could. It was pretty fun to watch. Gabe says, Leighton, his channel is fantastic. One of my favorites for sure. It is a pretty fun channel. Analog says, I switched to Epidemic just a few weeks ago, and I spent a few hours going through the music. Suddenly, the 30 Days Night song popped up in my headset. That's pretty cool. What is the smallest and larger that you know that will print minimum of 5x7? Oh, okay, so 5x7 on paper or 5x7 negatives? I'm guessing it's 5x7 paper. The smallest, it depends on the medium, but if you're asking 5x7 and larger, then those are humongous. Probably Devere? I don't know, I call them Devere. Everyone complains about my pronunciation. But I guess I do say things wrong, like Leica, I say it all the time. The Barba says, I have a 127, so I don't know if I should buy the 180. I do recommend the 180. It's pretty nice. And 250 might be a little too long. Okay, Gabe says, sorry, 135 to 5x7. Oh, most 135 and larger are super small. I had a Durst that did 35 and printed much bigger than 5x7. I think you're going to have a hard time finding anything that will print up to 5x7. Everything will go up much higher than 5x7. So try to find some cheaper versions, maybe school options, you know, like the old school school enlargers and stuff like that. Depends on where you're based. Omega has some nice ones. Devere has some nice ones, but the 35 is probably going to be hard to find. Durst has some nice ones. I don't know the 35 number. But yeah, check those out and check it and see what you find. Antonio says, do you prefer 120 electronic or manual medium format cameras for daily use? I don't actually care if electronics or manual. I mean, don't get me wrong, if the electronic breaks, you're pretty much screwed up, and manual, you're not. But so far, none of them have broken. I've had a few manual ones break, but I fixed them. But yeah, I'm not one of those electronics versus manual cameras. I try to keep things manual just because of you know, cameras are not getting any younger. But I don't mind. And the Mamiya 7 is amazing, so I rather use the Mamiya 7. I like the frame rate, like the 6x7 better. But I do love the Hasselblad. I have both, so I use both. Gabe says, I have a tiny, tiny, tiny space, and I'm looking for something that I can easily put away when not in use. You're gonna have to search, Gabe. Check secondhanddarkroom.co.uk. Send them a text or email and tell them what you have. They are located in the UK, but they ship everywhere in the world, and they have like a bunch of gear, and they'll probably help you out a lot. Printing, Leighton says, printing 5x7 is a pain. It's just too small. Try 8x10. That is a nice size. Leighton, I actually do 5x7 quite a bit, and I actually really like it. I have 5x7 just there. But it is small, and it makes it complicated, especially for dodging and burning and stuff. Spain says, Minolta with a color head is cheap and good. I live in 800 square feet, 73-ish square meters with 7 people. That's a lot of people, and not so many meters. Yeah, try to find something small and write secondhanddarkroom.co.uk and ask them. Antonio says, Minolta Axomat 6. Gabe asked him, Antonio, 6x7, Mamiya 7. Please do, printing is amazing. It is amazing. Joseph says, I have a bestseller 6.7C. The baseboard comes off really easy, and I store it in my closet like that. That's actually a good idea. The Barba says, is the Sekonic L308S the best value for a spot meter? Honestly, the best value for a light meter, I think it is. It's the one I use all the time. It's just there right now waiting for me to pack it for the trip. I find the Sekonic 308 to have the flash metering, which is amazing for studio light. It has reflected and incident light reading. It has the ISO is really easy to change. It uses one AA battery that lasts for years. It's so small and slim that it fits in the back of your pocket, and your jacket, on your purse if you use a purse, on your backpack, anywhere. You can throw it anywhere. I use it. It's my meter, and I have probably like 8 or 9 light meters, and it's the one I use all the time. Even with large format, I use it. I use the spot meter every now and then if I think I need it, but it's so big. I have the Pentax digital spot meter and the Sekonic 508, and they're just so big. But yeah, that's what I think. Well, guys, it's 10 o'clock. Tomorrow I'm flying to the UK, so I gotta kind of keep on packing. So I'm dropping the live stream here like I always do at 10 o'clock. Thanks so much, guys, for being here today. Sorry for not putting the live stream up before. I will do for next week. I will try my best to maybe go live stream from Intrepid if they have a Wi-Fi signal and such, just to kind of give a little glimpse. I will record maybe the live stream too, so I can post it on YouTube. I don't know if I'll go on Instagram and YouTube or both. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, very excited. I'm posting updates on the Kickstarter, and it's not only for backers. I'm not one of those people that are going to just only post updates for backers. I think it's for everyone to read what's going on. So maybe they want to help on the next project. They can see how it went. So yeah, check it out. And thanks, guys, again. And yeah, talk to you next week with a lot of news from Intrepid. So yeah, thanks, guys. And which spot meter that's best value? I say the Sekonic 508 is an amazing thing. But yeah, gotta leave, guys. Thanks so much. Bye.